Are you struggling to see any progress in the gym? Are you struggling to grow any muscle despite what you do, how much you train, and how much protein you consume? Do you feel you're just not gaining any size? Because if so, you're going to want to watch this video. Ask yourself this: how long have you been training for right now? Is it days, weeks, months, or years? That's your first question.
I'm good at shutting you out. I've always had a way of keeping closed. Beating, hiding, I've been.
So, if you're a newbie and you've not long started training, then you're going to experience what's called newbie gains. And this is where you gain really easy because your body's never experienced the stimulus before. So it's going to adapt and grow really easily, which is great. And that usually lasts anywhere from 12 months to 2 years. It's usually the latter. But yeah, because your body's never experienced stimulus before, it's going to be very receptive and adapt very easily. And if you've been training longer than this time frame, so anywhere from 16 months, 2 years on, then you're probably going to find you haven't got that newbie gains phase anymore. And if you're still trying to train with the same intensity and the same stimulus, your body's kind of used to it. So you need to ramp up the intensity to elicit new growth. So that's the first thing you've got to really think of.
Calling out your name.
My second question to you is, are you tracking your nutrition? And I don't mean eyeballing, I mean actually weighing and actually logging it. Weighing it to the gram and logging it, whether that's handwriting in your notes app or on one of the free apps, MyFitnessPal, NutriCheck, whatever. Are you doing that? Can you accurately say 1000% you're doing that?
I've been calling out your name from the darkness, thinking it's too late. If you're faded, I've been too much on your plate. I'll keep hiding, calling out your name, calling out your name.
You can gain muscle in a calorie deficit, but you're going to gain muscle better in a surplus. It's going to be a lot more easy. And unless you are consistently tracking your food and your caloric intake and you're actually weighing so you know how much you're consuming, you can't say that you accurately know what you're consuming. You might think you're in a calorie surplus, but good chance you're not, and that goes with a calorie deficit as well. That's why a lot of people struggle to gain weight, and that's why a lot of people struggle to lose weight, because they're not accurately tracking. So you need to track.
Know how it is when love isn't enough. You have to move on just to be numb. You know the rules there. No, it's not right. No, it's not right. I sleep better at night. When love isn't enough, you have to move on just to be numb. You know the rules there.
Next one is protein, and this kind of leads on from the last one, and this is a biggie. So you can't expect to grow muscle and for your body and the muscles to repair itself if you haven't got an adequate protein intake. General baseline guidance is around 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. If you're not sure how much you need, check the link in my. If you're not sure how much you need, check the link in the description of this video. I've got a free calorie calculator which you can use, and I'll give you all the macro calculations for you for calorie deficit or calorie surplus. It's free to use. But yeah, protein is a big one. Consuming 50 grams of protein a day isn't optimal. You need to be ensuring you're hitting your protein intake daily to ensure you're maximising your results. Again, this kind of comes back to weighing and measuring your food, because the only way you're going to know what your protein quantity of your food and your meal is by tracking, weighing, measuring. So yeah, protein is a big one. You want to aim to get it through whole nutritional foods first, and then supplementing if needed. Just the food source can make a big difference. And I wasn't a big believer in this until a couple of years ago, until I actually started to mature and until I started to lean more towards whole foods, just because I feel better on it. It's made a big difference to my gains and my recovery. So this isn't something you need to skimp on. Good quality sources first, and then supplementing if you need.
Right, back in the car because I'm running out of car park time. So, next point is, are you training with enough intensity? So, next point is, are you training with enough intensity and enough volume? Research suggests that for optimal hypertrophy growth, we need around 8 to 12 sets per body group. Research suggests that for optimal hypertrophy growth, we need around 8 to 12 sets per muscle group per week. So, for example, that would be around 3 to 4 sets per muscle group to failure, training to failure per week if you were training 3 times a week. If you're not training with enough volume to elicit growth and with enough intensity, aka you're going to failure, you're not going to see any results. And this kind of goes back to the previous one. You need to be pushing yourself to failure. And this is where having a coach or training with someone can be really beneficial, because they will give you that extra push. But just going through the motions isn't really going to help. And I want to tag onto this about actually tracking your workouts, i.e. either following a program, which I do really suggest, and not freeballing it, because you're never going to really see any structured progress if you're just freeballing it, especially as you get more and more experienced and your body stops responding to the stimulus as much. You need to be following a structured workout, or program should I say, and you need to be tracking, because whether it's an increase in weight or an increase in a rep, it is still classed as progressive overload and progression. And unless you can track your previous workouts and your previous sets, you're not going to know where you need to progress, where you need to kind of push more, and where your weaknesses are. If you're going in there and kind of freeballing it every day, you're not maximising the results you could obtain. There's plenty of programs out there, and there's plenty of free ones out there. I personally advise, now this is kind of me being biased, but it's also not, because although I am a coach, I train myself, and I've had coaches, and I've also freeballed it before I was qualified. So, but I do advise, if you are new, getting a coach, someone who's experienced and is going to take the guesswork out for you. They can tailor a plan for you that's tailored to your weaknesses, to your strengths. Just going to know what to focus on, what to build on. And it's going to save a lot of energy on the useless stuff. But yeah, if you're not training with intensity and you're not pushing yourself to failure, and I mean true failure, not not until mild discomfort, which I see a lot of people do, especially on TikTok, not naming any names, you're not going to see progress. So yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. Short and sweet today because I need to get back to my pooches. If you'd like me to go into it in a bit more detail, let me know. But it's just something to kind of get you thinking, and just to kind of get you questioning yourself and get you assessing your own workouts and your own programs. Because if you're not seeing results, you need to ask why. So thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe and comment if you haven't. I really appreciate it. And I will see you Friday.